So once we get that going, we'll go right into our entries and find our class. Now this, I've already have some entries already in. I'm going to go right to my late models, which we were working at. We'll get in there and we'll start adding in drivers. So this is a list of all of the drivers that were entered in, and we can actually see those in our profiles drivers section right here. All of the drivers in that class, they are going to appear here. So it's going to match up. So when we search, we're going to search for that whole list. So if we find a driver, say our driver Cole Trickle shows up, we can click on him. And we see this box here, and we have a couple of different things here. So he did have his number default in as 46. We can change that here if we need to. We can also put in the default pill number here, or not default pill number, but our pill number, which is 49, that it's drawn for me right up here. We can put in his team and owner information here, whether the payout goes to that. And we can also set it as default, and we can put in his transponder number here too. We'll click and we'll add that in. He is checked in. He has a claimed profile. Here we can see that by that gold helmet right up here to the top. Drivers that do have that claimed profile, they can do that for free. They're able to put in their schedule, the results, points, their schedule and results, and they put in there. And if you link them up there, so if they're using the same class that you're using, it'll put in their results in there for you too, just automatically. So it's really nice for them to do. It's really nice for you to have them do, because it helps both y'all out. So other ways we can enter drivers into the system, we can import from a previous night. So this would be useful if we had a 2-day show. So if we had all of the drivers from one day or the drivers from another, we can do that, and that will help out a great deal. We can also search for a driver. So let's say we have a driver, he's absolutely not here at all. So we could search for him, see if he's in the system, and we're able to see, yes, our driver is in the system. We can add them in. We could also create a new driver from here if we needed to. Another way we can enter in drivers. Okay, we got a. So it depends. I did get a question here on the chat. It depends on if you do have a website through us, kind of what pages that you have. Generally, the driver can enter in. My test driver didn't. You guys, he's a little camera shy, so he didn't enter that in yet. But if we did have a driver's page, you could see that drivers can also add in their own photo here when they claim their profile. Another way we can enter in those drivers, we can use the scan barcode. And what this will do, we'll give you guys hard cards, is what we call them. They're about the size of a credit card. You can have a scanner that is hooked up to a computer, and it'll scan that barcode. And the cool thing is that barcode works throughout the system. So if you have a driver who's visiting, say from the other side of the country, and you scan them in, it will still pull up their profile. This helps cut down a lot on duplicates, and it does quite a lot of cool things for you. It helps out with speeding up this back end process. You don't have to search through here, filter. You can get those to you. That comes free with all the plus or above plans. You just let us know. We'll send them out to you. And it's just something you can take advantage of. And we do have a couple scanners we recommend that you can use. You can use any scanner that hooks up to a computer, but we recommend ones that can scan smartphones because that's something we're looking to do here in the future. The last way that we're going to enter in drivers is going to be the speed entry button. And what this will do is, as long as we don't have any sort of duplication here, as long as we just click them, it'll go straight through. So click added. The system's going to stop and warn me if I have any duplicate car numbers, if I have any duplicate transponder numbers. If I was doing manual pill numbers, it'll let me know if I have duplicate pill numbers. So you have quite a lot there. And once we have everyone entered in, we're ready to roll for an night of racing. So after we enter everybody in, we're going to go right back into our races here. Everything's going to flow right down to the straight line, and we're going to add in our races. So I only have 10 entries. I'm going to do a heat and an A feature. Just do 1 and 1. We can add in our laps and how many tech if we'd like to, but we don't have to if we don't want to. We'll add that in, and we're good to go. So we're going to do our transfers here. Essentially, this is going to mean how many drivers move from one step to another. In this case, my only other race that we have is our feature. So we're going to set that we want to have everyone move since we only have 10 drivers. So we'll go up here to the top, say the top everyone move, and we're good to go. This from group here is going to be for passing points. The big difference there is that instead of taking the top however many per race, it takes the top of the pool of the races. So useful for passing points. So if you have the top 5 in passing points, that's what you'd want to take as that from group, as opposed to the top 5 per race. We're also able to set how many drivers per row we would like, up to 3. Do 1, 2, or 3 if we need to, and we can do that per race. And we set that. We're saved, and we're ready to go. So once we do that, I'm actually going to switch over to my super stocks here, where I've already moved through this, and I'm to my lineups. The reason I did that is that these drivers here, I've gone ahead and added in transponder numbers, and I'm going to be showing you how to use MRP Live with Westhold, show you what that looks like. We'll be good to go there. So we're going to move forward. I'm going to calculate my lineups right up here. The first night that you calculate lineups in the system, it's going to ask you to set the lineups that you're going to be commonly using. So you can actually see that we have a lot of lineups for different situations, and it's super unlikely that you're going to be using every single one of these lineups. So we let you pick and choose the ones that you're going to be using. So I've taken straight up from A's and B's there. I've taken B feature lineups. I've taken some passing points, pill draw. I've taken IMCA, and I've done a qualifying lineup too. And you can see that I've done this right here. So instead of giving me the full list of all of my heat lineups right here, it's only going to be the ones relevant to me. We're going to click our pill draw, heat, calculate it out, and it's done. It's ready to roll. So when we do that, we have a couple things that we can do here. We can share this to our Facebook and Twitter account right here. We can click and drag drivers. So if we had a driver, so let's say the car 14 here, absolutely does not want to start up front. He's a rookie, he's scared to do that. We can move him all the way to the back. Save it, and it'll update. The cool thing about this is that all of this information here, everything here is all going to the app. So your fans, your drivers will be able to go to the My Race Pass app. They'll be able to see these lineups as we're creating them here, as they're saved, and those will go right to the app without you having to do anything more than what we just did there. For anyone just joining us, we have muted you here. If you do any questions, there's a chat feature there. Feel free to ask any questions in the chat. I'm always happy to answer those. I'll be paying attention to that here. So if you need anything, just let me know. Moving forward here, we're going to be going right. It's going to take a look at one of the other things you'll have access to is this lineup monitor. If you need it, you can select the size of your screen here. And this will actually show us our lineups. It'll update in real time here. You can use this instead of doing reports, having a printout there. You can have this in the Pit Shack, and it'll update for us. So as we get in our results, I'll move that out of the way and move over to our A feature or any other lineups that we have. So we've gotten all of our heat lineup in. We're good to go there. So let's get going with MRP Live. So right up here for the first night, we'll go to this MRP Live code, and we can download the application from here, or we can launch it from web. You can also, before the race starts, If you scroll all the way down here to timing integrations, you can download MRP Live from right here. And when you do that, it's going to have a setup for you, and it's going to walk you through how to do this. So let's get some Westhold here. So there's a couple things here that you're going to see. So this code right here goes right here. This is what links it to today's event. If we launch it from web, it'll actually pull this code for us, so we don't have to copy and paste this long code here. So we're good there. We're going to set that we're in Race Manager. We're in the Westhold system. Our race data up here, this IP address that's going to be here. And we're also going to pull this TCP IP port of 50,000. It's going to be right here, and make sure this network is enabled right here. Once we have those three in, it's going to want to know about our assignments path. And for Race Manager, that's going to be in our C drive right here. Our C drive assign, when you browse it, you'll be able to find that in your C drive. And then we'll just hit connect. And it is connected to my, once we've connected to our race manager for the night, honestly, we can just set this aside, forget about it. We're ready to go. And we can send our lineups. So we'll go there, go to our assignments. We have Superstocks, Heat 1. We can double check all this here. It's good to go, how we set it up. And then we just run the race like we would normally. I'll have it start. So while this is going, I'm going to take a look here as it's going. We're ready here. Let's go into my results. Let's let it run for a bit. We can actually take a look at our lap viewer now. This is the data that fans that have the live timing integration, they'll be able to see this from their phones. But we can actually see this going on right here from my race. You can see that the driver's moving. Drivers will also be able to find all of their lap information from the app. And fans can follow specific drivers that they want to see. So let's finish this up here. Let's let them cross here. We got our finish. We'll stop the race. We can save this if we want. Yep, we're good there. Go back to my results. Our Superstock heat is good to go. It's imported. We've pulled it right here. This is the information that we've pulled from the transponder system itself. From here, we can score it. So we can set if they did not finish, did not start, were disqualified, black flagged, and if you're doing passing points, you can do no passing points and set that up. We can also share these again to our Facebook and Twitter accounts right here. We also have a media format for results you can take right from here. Then we'll go right back into our lineups and we'll do the same thing. Calculate our lineups. We got our heats and Bs right here. They're calculated. Send our lineups again because our updated lineups are sent. Go back to our assignments page here. Got our A feature. And we can start the race. This is going to be pretty much the shortest A feature I've ever seen. We're just going to do 4 laps there. We're going to stop it. We're going to do, going to add this in. Features added in. If we had any drivers, let's say Terry here, let's say his transponder had something happen to it. If there's a discrepancy, it will show up as a yellow if it's not able to match directly. Or if we needed to move anybody, we can just click and drag them where they needed to be in case something happened to his transponder, let's say. We'll save that here. It's saved, it's ready to roll. Go right back to points and pay. Now, before the race started, I've actually set up my points and pay here. It's actually going to be points and pay and schemes. I have a few different points and pay schemes added in. We also have global point schemes, so you see by IMCA. We have a few different sanctioning bodies where the point schemes are already set in for you, so you don't need to worry about that. But we'll go back, we'll add in our points and pay group. We'll put in our points here. We got a pay scheme here. I'm going to add this in as a special pay night. We can apply it to drivers, owners, cars, or a combination of the three. And if for any reason we needed to have a driver not receive points but receive pay, we're going to check their name here. We'll add it. We got their points and pay based on how I set everything up here for the night. If I needed to make any snap adjustments here, I can adjust it plus or minus here, save it. I can also create payments. So here I'm going to say everybody is using a check. That's how we want them to be paid. If I had an owner set for the payment information, I could set that in here and it'll actually have their, that'd be back in entries, it'll have their name instead that they're getting paid. And from here we can create our checks. We'll have those ready to print off. Also in this payments section, we can export this to QuickBooks. And we do have a report for our payments here. You can see how much we've paid them, what check we paid them with. We also have a lot more reports up here too. So you're able to see our entry list reports, our lineups reports here. All of these reports, say we'll do detailed points, breakdown for all of our night of racing. You can see that here. We can export this to a PDF if we need to. We can minimize and send just the ones we want to send or print the ones we want to print right here. So we have quite a few different reports for you all in the system. So that would be how to run a quick night of racing. If you did want to do that, you have quite a few different ways of playing around with the system if you did need to. So let's say you do want to test out the system a little bit. You can definitely do that. You can go here to the sandbox mode. The sandbox mode will let you do everything I just did, minus the transponders, in what I call a consequence-free environment. I like to joke that what happens in the sandbox mode stays in the sandbox mode. It's a lot like Las Vegas in that way. Nothing that we do here will share out to anybody. Qualifying times being exported for lineups. So, Mike, what I would recommend doing, I will get you out my email, and I will I'll work with you more directly on that. What I would say is to double check the connection and double check that their transponder numbers were the correct ones, because that transponder number is going to be what links them the most direct. But I'll take a look at that, and that actually also leads into another good point. That if you do have any other questions or if anything else comes up, feel free to reach out to me as a resource. I am the product specialist here at My Race Pass, so I'm able to answer everything. I know this pretty well backwards and forwards. We also have this help button up here that'll take you to the knowledge base where you can see frequently asked questions. You also use the live chat if need be from there. So yeah, that we do have different resources, and I implore everyone to just reach out. If you do have any questions, I am always happy to answer any of those for you. Whatever you need. Um, is there any other questions that you had? I know I tend to go through these kind of quick, but is there anything else I can anything else y'all want to see or want to go through right now? I'm happy to do so. All right. Well, yes. The check printing is part of the Plus plan and above. So that 396 plan, that plan above Essential, everything I just showed you here is a part of the Plus, the Pro Plus plan, which is 396 for the year. The lineup monitors, the apps. The app is also free for your fans to use. The live timing portion of the app does cost, I believe, $8 for the year, so it is pretty cost effective there for them. 1099's in the system, so that's going to be done using this. So we do have these reports here. These reports are going to be more for kind of the big overview reports, right? So we do have these reports here that'll keep track of their total payments. You can plug that in to, we have a few different softwares that we recommend that will print out the 1099s proper if you keep track of their tax ID information. So other reports here, with quite a bit. I can send that out to you. There's a few off the top of my head. I don't know which ones they are, but they're pretty cost effective. Other reports that you guys get, other things you guys go have is that online registration. I'd recommend setting that up. You can see that I've set mine up here as well. So what this will let me do is collect registrations from my drivers. So let's take a look at that here. So you can see that I've actually registered. When I confirm myself here up to the top, I'll actually go right in here to the profile section, and then my information will go right here into the contact list. This contact list will have address information for my drivers. You can see that some already have addresses and emergency contact information. You can add that all in here, and then you're able to export that if you need to. You're also you'll also have access to something else that's new as this payment screen. From here, you can actually see all the payments that I've made throughout all the different races that I've run out here. So I've run quite a few different ones here. So you can see it'll manage that for me. And I also have a report here which breaks it down more by date, how much every driver was paid, using that payments tab, how they were paid, and also breaks down team information. So is there any other, if there's any other questions, I think that pretty much should get everything wrapped up there. Feel free to reach out and let me know. Otherwise, I'll be sticking on here for a little bit longer, but I think that does wrap up what we've seen here. So awesome. Well, let me know if you guys have any other questions or anything else comes up. I'm always happy to help. You can also check out our YouTube videos, and including this one will be up at some point here in the future. That's going to be at myracepass.com/YouTube. You'll be able to view that and other tutorials that we've made in the past. And again, if you need anything else, just let us know. Thank you so much. You all have a great day.